Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about step-by-step guides to be a football agent or how to become a licensed football agent by FIFA. So first, before we start, I'm going to introduce I'm Gaucho Brian, licensed agent, but I'm going to give you a structured approach and the details on how to make this happen. So I'm going to be reading through what the notes I've kept so that I can give you guys exactly the perfect idea on how to do that. So if you have a pen and paper, just take this and put it down because it's going to be important for you all. So first, as we said, the topic is how to get FIFA agent license step by step. So the first thing I'll ask, have you ever dreamt of representing top football players? So to represent top football players, you have to become an agent, and not only normal agent, you have to become a licensed agent by FIFA. So gone are the days when anybody used to just parents used to represent their players as agents, but these days, no, you have to be a licensed agent, and only one person gives the license, which is FIFA, who actually award the license. And the licenses are being awarded by exams, that you write an exam, pass the exam, then you get a license. But all this, you have to have a structural, and it has a step-by-step approach, which I'm going to give you guys if you have a pen and paper for those preparing to write the exam, so that it can help you. So what is the first step? Or let me first ask, what do agents really do? They represent players, of course, but many people, they are not only representing players. There are a lot of things that agents do. So before we start, let me ask yourself, do you know what an agent actually does? Ask yourself this. So let me give an example. What an agent actually does: if you represent players, endorsement deals, a lot of things. Also, manage players' finances. It depends the relationship with with the agent. Your relationship with an agent. Mostly, an agent is almost like a father figure or a guardian to a player, which actually guides your career from a younger age to almost a retirement age if you find a very profitable agent, because there are good agents and there are agents who really know their job very well, who look after you from probably when you sign your first professional contract or when you're still an amateur player till when you play and you arrive at elite level. So all these are always things that players actually look, and if they are lucky, they can get this from their agent. But normally, not every player is going to meet that kind of agent. So you have to pay attention and also listen to what I have to tell you so that you can, when finding an agent, you can look for the right agent. So first, to become an agent, there are some requirements that you have to meet to be able to guide players also. So first, you have to be more than 18 years. Are you at least 18-year-old? So you have to be more than 18 years to be able to represent someone, because for an agent, you'll be representing minor and you also be representing older people. So the first thing, you have to know that you are more than 18. Excuse me. Do you have a clean record? So people like agents, I think most people don't know. You don't have to do gambling. That gambling is like playing bets. You don't have to be involved in that. 24 months before betting, before registering as an agent, you don't have to be, your name don't have to be in any gambling record, or 12 months, I beg your pardon. So do you also understand the FIFA regulation and how the transfer market work? So those are also things that you have to put an effort to also actually learn. Yeah. So these are a little bit the steps that you have to also be taking to know. First, you don't have to have any criminal record of sort. And also bankruptcy. You shouldn't have filed bankruptcy if you are an owner of a company. You're not going to be an agent. So there are a lot of things that are really involved in this. So let's look at other steps. Also, when it comes to your federation, national federation, what I mean by that is your national federation. Let's take, for example, if I'm in Finland, my national federation is the Finnish Football Association. So if you're in your country, for example, Ghana or whatsoever place, or UK, Your own is going to be the UK Football Association. So anyways, so your federation of actually organize this exam coming from FIFA, and they actually set the place people are going to write. But this year, this exam has actually been done in a way that FIFA has brought. FIFA actually gave an announcement that the exam is going to be written remotely, which means you are going to write that exam on your laptop at home. So it's going to be a 1 hour exam that when you sit at home, when the time comes, you go to the page, and when you write, the moment the 1 hour is gone, the exam goes away from your computer. So that is how it's going to be organized this year. But the previous years, the exams have been organized in a way that you go to the location that your FA or the FA of your country that you are writing has arranged. You go there, sit there, they give you Wi-Fi, and you write everything. But this year, actually, you're going to be writing it at your home. But still, for me, it's not really going to change that much because it's a 1 hour exam and it's an open book exam. Many people don't know it's an open book. Open book exam, what does it mean? Which means you can still use your study materials, but the exam is quite hard even to use the study material. So probably many people think that they are sitting home, that you're sitting home to write the exam is going to be different from going to the exam location. No, those who even went and wrote the exam at the locations had the books with them, which is the FIFA study material they always give. You have that book, but because the book is that bulky, you cannot search even for the material. You cannot even search for the materials that quick. So that's why you always need a strategy to be able to learn how to locate your answers. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Drop a like if you're getting information from this, and also leave me any question if you always need a question on this, and I'm going to do that. And always check me on LinkedIn because I'm there regularly posting things on this about FIFA Agent Exam. And also I'm starting a classes with some students from 1st of April, beginning of April. So keep checking and you're going to get a lot of information about this. So the next thing that we say is preparation for the exam. So this is very important steps. How do you prepare for the exam? So you prepare for the exam by actually meeting candidates who have also, or people who have written the exam or have experience and passed the exam. You actually sit with them and also get a structured approach. So an example, I'm teaching some students about how they can study to pass the exam, because the material you study is about 600 to 700 pages, and the questions come on any of those parts, which means it's quite tricky. And also the question that comes, there are 60 questions that you have to have 75% pass rate. And in those questions, those 60 questions, if you look at it which means if you divide 60 by 20, which means you have just 3 minutes for one question. And some questions have very lengthy questions, which means before you read the entire questions, maybe you're already more than 2 minutes. Then the extra 1 minute you have to memorize, which means you're already running out of time. So most of the time you have to make maximum use of your time, because it's just 1 hour for 20 questions. And in those 20 questions, most of the time people answer just half, and half in this exam is not good enough. You have to have 75% pass, which means 15 questions. And also another tricky part is in those 15 questions that you have, if you actually, let's give an example, they give a question that has 4 answers, 3 are right, and you pass 2 and fail 1, completely all is fail. So that is why it even becomes more tricky. So pay attention to this also. And I hope you're taking notes. You can still come back and rewatch this video just to learn if I'm quite a little bit faster. So the next step is taking the exam. So taking the exam is a multiple choice, as I said, a multiple choice exam. It takes, as I said, 75% pass. So as I repeat, try to be focused, and you have to have a structural approach. Those structural approach can only be most of the people who have written the exam try to give you a guidance, because most people will actually go into the exam thinking that it's a multiple choice. They're just going to pick A, B, or C, and D and get whether they might get their luck. I think those people, you are not yet ready to have your license and represent the elite players you want to represent. Think of it, you representing a young player till he turns 30. I must say this business, if you get it right, is a very lucrative business, or because you representing, let's give an example, you representing the next Ronaldo, the next Neymar, the next Messi is actually quite huge. So it's something that you have to really, really sacrifice for your license to be able to get it right. So that's why also the exam is hard, because FIFA make the exam hard in a way that you have to know the rules and regulation because you are representing players. So step 6, pay the license fee and get your license. So once you pass the exam, let's take for example, once you pass the exam also has a $600 payment after you have passed the exam. This is when you have to pay the fee to get the license. You register, but I have to explain this. When you're registering for the exam, you have an amount you register. That is by your FA. That it differs. The Finnish FA register. When you're registering in Finland, it has different prices. If you're registering in America, it has different prices. That one is charged by your FA. But when you're registering when you pass the exam, actually, now you have to pay for your license, which is $600. And this payment, it's for a whole year. So that's how it goes. So, and finally, when you get the license, what next? You start building your connection, you start working, traveling to football clubs, trying to meet people, because you're now a professional licensed agent, which means you can talk to any player and try to sign them, no matter whatever or where the player is playing. You can sign the player into your agency. So tips for success in this agency: you have to build connections. Don't just sit home and speak to people. Try to find a way that you can work. After having your license, you can always go to clubs and speak to them. And who do you speak to them in clubs? So let's say if you're probably let's give an example. Let's take if you're in Ghana or you're in, let's say, UK, and you're a licensed agent, you have to start finding the clubs that are closer to or different cities, to move there and just to watch how they train and speak to their sporting directors. Just try to know how the team functions, what they play, what the sporting director need, so that when you be able to pitch to them a player that you want them to buy, you can say, for example, you have been watching their training, you came there, and they'll actually be familiar with you, that they might listen to you and say that, okay, this guy has been here. So, well, I will be putting more tips on this, but first, let's focus first on the license. So, any questions, you can drop them always there, and I'm going to reply back to you. So keep an eye on most of what I said earlier, that I'm hosting a course at the beginning of April. I'm going to keep letting you guys know, but take care. And that was it for me. If you have anything, as I said, keep it there. Just put it a note and I'm going to reply to you. So take care, and it was nice talking with you guys. Cheers and have a nice day. Bye for now.